Good evening.
Thank you.
Let's start things off by talking about your creative partnership. What drew you to each other in the first place?
My opinion is the fact that we complement each other. So Rushemy has qualities that I don't have and the other way around. So we found a very efficient way of working together.
And what's also important, I think we really challenge each other. We respect each other's opinion, respect each other's borders as well. And we really make each other go out of our comfort zone.
The theme of this issue of ODDA is you. I want to get a better understanding of what each of you as individuals bring to the creative equation, and what are your individual strengths and how do you complement each other?
Good question.
Yeah. No, it's actually quite easy because we know it already from each other. I am more, let's say, more technical minded, so I like to approach garments more in a technical way, pattern-wise.
And for me, I like to create stories, really storytelling in a creative way. Really to build dreams in silhouettes. That is what I like to do.
Do you both like to work in the same way? In the sense of, are you both creative night owls, or do you need to have music playing to design? How do you kick your creativity into gear? Do you both have tricks to help to get the ideas flowing?
Good one. For me, I grew up in a very busy household. I sleep the best also when it's really crowded, when I hear voices. So I like to draw, like to sketch. I come up with ideas when the TV is on. I have to hear noise. I have to see images. It's mostly something random on the TV, but that's the way I stay creative, because when I look up and I see something interesting, I immediately start thinking. I get inspired by a lot of things and really quickly as well. And when I capture these things and the most interesting things that keeps with me, I like to go research and go more into depth and then start creating.
Yeah, for me, I think I like to work not really in silence, but I do, I'm really organized. I need to have my stuff organized around me, in contrast to you, actually, because he likes a bit of chaos around sometimes. Yeah. I really like things to be very organized, so I also put always calm music, sometimes classical music. I think for me, calmness opens up my mind more, and it makes me, explore, how I think in shapes, how I think in 3D. I need more serenity.
What I noticed the last period is that I like also, she organizes around me, and I think that's also, I like that also, because I make a mess. And I come back and then everything is on color back. The colors are gradient and maybe I'm a bit spoiled by you,
You're used to it, maybe.
Yeah. No, I appreciate it.
You both grew up in Holland and you also have Caribbean roots as well. How does your unique mélange of origins express itself in your work at Butter?
It's a really complicated and really, really good question, because I think it's the question that we have been asking ourselves also, to be able to translate it to other people, because it's something that comes really natural to us. There's definitely this flamboyant side of the both of us, and then there's this very structured side of the both of us as well that comes maybe from our Dutch roots and, how the Dutch people organize and always want everything in time, and so I think there are two sides.
Yeah, and I think those two sides really complement each other, because that is what she told, the Dutch side is the Dutch, Belgium side is a bit like sober, a bit like structured. You need to be on time, and you need to be at the table at 5:30 to eat, and the meals are made in the right proportions. So when you come to a household, you have to leave, because they have to eat and they don't have enough for you, And then we have our more Caribbean side that is food, a lot of food, anybody can come at any time. And
people divide also there, There's always like, if there's not enough, we share. And the more people, the better.
Yes, exactly.
On the manifesto page on the Butter website, you lead off with the Human Family poem by Maya Angelou. What is it about this poem that you feel represents you and your brand?
I think it's a really important poem, and it's something that we hold on to as well. I think, without family, without community, what is left, Because for us, creating butter, also creating the butter man, finding what we find very attractive about men also is, and people in general, is like the human relation. And, I think it can make somebody very beautiful when somebody's very caring and towards other people and open towards other people. I think that's almost like a beauty and a certain elegance that a person can hold, and I think that's very important for our brand.
And it's very current, this poem is really timeless, and that is what I like about it. And what she said as well, we are really drawn to people that have a certain energy around them, that is that they care about others, not about themselves, because this energy I don't like, and I pick it up really easily, when a certain person has this energy of all about himself. And we're really drawn to people that care about others, and have some love in themselves, to share with others with. That is it.
Tell me about the cloakroom on your site, where you have an avatar that the viewer can dress in some of the butter designs. What inspired this concept of communication and audience participation in your creations?
Yeah, for that concept, it came because that was the period that we really had to make a shift from physical shows to digital. And when I heard that, I immediately thought of because I used to game. And I have a lot of friends that are really game freaks, and my sisters, they are game developers, and I thought immediately of games, and because I liked to game in a different way, like FIFA. FIFA is like a soccer game, but for me it was more like this part that you had to dress up, and that you get you can have these kicks in this color, you can have these matching things. For me that was the nicest thing, to see them running on the field the way I designed them. And then I thought like, oh, this is nice, because if we go for this concept, we can give the viewer the chance to have the same experience I experienced. So you can pick your clothes, you can dress you can dress your avatar yourself, and in some sort of way you can create your own runway, let's say.
What other areas of fashion tech are you both interested in exploring?
Oh, that's a really good question, because we're both not super technical.
No, so we're not technical at all, and that's even maybe an advantage, because it's we're not boxed, So we are really researching, we are discovering things.
One of the ideas that we have, because we now created our butter, let's say, coral nursery in Curaçao. This is a nursery underwater that revives actually dying coral. And something that I would like to explore is, for example, the butter customer, that is interested in what we're doing can for example log in underwater like 24/7. These techniques are quite
that's interesting,
difficult to do, but it would be great to give almost this transparency to the people who are interested, for them to log in 24/7 on something that's what's going on.
That's interesting, because it's we like to be transparent, you know, and maybe use the tech side to give transparency and like almost like a backstage feel, you know, and so people can, for example, what you said, like you know these, you know, in a zoo, you can have, you see like the camera is on the elephant cage, you know, and you see the elephant being born and stuff, you know, and maybe that could be a nice thing to have in a playful way, you know, to involve the butter customer, you know, in when they are purchasing a garment, they also attribute to the coral reef, you know, and they can maybe adopt the coral, and we can let them keep track of how it's growing. Maybe I would use the tech side for that.
Yeah.
For those who have yet to see a butter collection, how would you describe what your label represents in the fashion world?
Good one.
I think for us it represents definitely communicating our story. You know, communicating as almost our collection function almost as a diary, you know, where we can speak about current issues, you know, things that's the beauty also for us about fashion, that things can be very very accurate, very relevant. It can be about something that happened yesterday or happens tomorrow, you know. You can all of a sudden be almost like a forecaster. I think fashion is a beautiful way of communicating, and that's definitely what we would like to, you know, achieve in our collections.
Also, always this positivism and also poetic storytelling.
Yeah, in terms of silhouette, and I think we always try to create something that's structured yet fluent, you know, easy to wear, yet, you know, it falls maybe from the body, something that kind of sparks your interest, you know. Sometimes you see right away how it's made, and sometimes it can question you. I think we definitely try to look, try to find like the borders, you know, also of menswear. You know, the menswear rules that are for us quite stimulating, you know, like until where can we go, you know, for it not to be gimmicky, but very challenging for the eye and for the man. And
always what we like, or what we find interesting, is always that you can discover things in a garment with us. There's always almost like, I don't want to call it like an art piece, you know, but when you look at the painting, you can discover things, or you look at it another day, you look at it differently. And I think with our garments, you have the same. You can discover the concept even later than you had it before, you know. And I think that is the way I would describe it.
You have now done a year's worth of collections in the shadow of a global pandemic, with months of confinement. Can you talk about how that has affected your creative process?
To be honest, it quite affected our creative process very positively. Last year, March, when the pandemic actually hit Europe, before that already, you know, all of a sudden we had like a sea of time, and you know, we had time to work out ideas that we had for butter, for example, the coral nursery, and you know, diving into this world gave us a lot of inspiration. And I don't know, having time to research, to really go deep in a subject, is something that is very stimulating to us. So in that sense, you know, not being stuck from meeting to meeting, or that was something that was really really good for us.
Yeah.
Along those same lines, how has this past year made you re-examine the way you want to run your business in the future?
Yeah, it definitely did, you know. I mean, we had a quite holistic view of how we wanted to run our business since the very beginning. We just found ourselves with more time and more time to organize during the pandemic as well. And I think we just realized more than ever that we wanted to offer more like a 360 degree world, you know, that if you buy a piece of butter, you also at the same time do something for nature, you know. So in that sense, we definitely rethink our business, actually.
Rushemy,
Yes.
as a designer of color, one of a handful for now, but thankfully that seems to be changing. Do you see yourself as a role model for other Black, Indigenous, and people of color designers? Do you want the fact that you are Black to always be referenced or discussed when people talk about your work? I ask because I know with your Spring Summer 21 collection you reference the Black Lives Matter.
Yeah. I think what you also discussed, you know, we are really the designers that that design and reflect on what's happening in the current situation, and we always speak up, you know. We cannot keep our mouths shut, and we have this podium now, and I think you should use it. And I see myself as a, not pretentious way, but I see myself as a role model because of the position that we have now, and also to stimulate, you know, and and also to be. I hope that people can see that everything is possible, and that you don't have to let others talk you down and stuff, you know, because it's easy to do, and especially in this world, in the fashion world. And I don't always want to talk about this, and especially not on other people's terms, you know. Do you know what I mean? Because it's easily now to it's most of the time it's a tool for people to talk about why I'm Black and reference it to my work, and I don't think my color has to do with the work, you know, that I'm delivering.
All the times, yes.
Yes, exactly. But yeah, to come back to that, I think it's important in the position that I have to speak up for others and to be a role model.
Lisi, do you feel that fashion needs to be a reflection of the world as it is, or inspiration for how you want it to be?
I think it's important to see the reality, you know, face the reality, but look at the future with eyes of hope. So we need both, I think.
Mm-hmm.
How is Butter addressing the idea of inclusivity in its fashion and transparency in terms of its production design?
I mean, for me, it's quite obvious. I don't know. I feel like we're, as people, very inclusive, you know, with at least with people who we work with. You know, it's for us. It's great to create this environment of that everybody feels welcome. People are always coming in.
Yeah.
So I hope we kind of translate that.
Yeah, I think it's obvious for the people that know us.
Yeah.
We are really inclusive, and we don't have this because we hear a lot, you know, that in the position, other people's in the position that we are hard to approach, you know, but we are nothing like that. We are really inclusive in that kind of way. Everybody is welcome. Everybody with good intentions, of course. We have to be protective also, but that's the way we grew up, you know. If you look at my friends and my family, it's super. It's really modern. Let's say it's how it should be. It's what you see the modern. We're super modern in that kind of way, you know.
Yeah, and I think in terms of our garments, I think we just. I'm not really sure we think about it that way, you know, because it's true, you know, you hear a lot about inclusive brands and inclusivity, but it's just not something that we really, you know, realize we need to do. You know, it's just we tell our story and everybody is allowed to come in our world. And it's okay if you don't like it. It's super if you like it, you know. I think in that way, I don't know. We have our doors open, and that's how we approach it.
Yeah, we don't even have to think about being to design or to have our clothes inclusive, because it is, it's normal for us.
Yeah.
It's
So
and
it's just like how it is for you.
it's how it is.
Like,
It's not a oh, we have to now, it's not a way of thinking. We have to be inclusive, No,
It's not, for example, tied to, let's say, a size or a color or a proposition of a style. That's not how we work.
Not today,
No.
And then transparency in production. We as a small brand, we're really transparent in that now. We produce everything in Europe. We don't want to fool our customers.
Yeah.
We hate that. I hated it when I was fooled. So we want to have the best fabrics, the best qualities for the good price, and we work hard for that. And it's only we want to have a good product that people can be proud of having it in their closets, and that is still wearable in many years,
Besides your broader menswear line, you also are the creative directors of Nina Ricci. How do you separate the work that you do for each house? Is it something as dramatic as specific days dedicated to each house? And stylistically speaking, how do you try and separate the two brands?
Our days definitely are separated. We need this kind of structure to function, to have the two teams work, and also when we are there and when we leave, they have stuff to go on with, So in that sense, we have to be really organized. But in our minds, it's ongoing, It's not tied to a day or whatever. So I think,
Okay.
I mean, many times we have the same inspiration. We have the same starting point.
Yeah, and it's not a lack of inspiration, because we challenge ourselves even, because we had one time we had the same inspiration, and we thought it was interesting to make it work at Nina Ricci in a different kind of way, because here you can see the concept really easily. It's really how do I say, it's
direct, huh?
It's really direct. And with Nina Ricci, we found ourselves in a way to challenge ourselves to design in a kind of way. We have the same concept, but when we talk about the concept, people start noticing, it's this design. So it's more hidden. And that's the way we approach it. But what you said also, we design, we create with our hearts, we are always creating. So in that kind of sense, it's not in the evening we stop. Okay, Nina stops now, it's always creating for Botte, for Nina. It's an ongoing process.
Yeah, and I think the interesting thing also about Nina is we almost need to. It's a house. It has a heritage. It has a history, that we want and need to respect, and it's a challenge to, for example, embody that, and offer something that's in line with the history of Nina Ricci, and that's why we are there also. So that makes it also different than our work for Botte.
Yeah.
Shape and volume seem to be a touchstone that you return to over and over again with your designs. Is that always your starting point when it comes to designing your collections?
For me, it is actually.
Yeah, for you it is.
Yeah, because I like to find. I like this search for techniques. I like this. For example, Rushemy has an idea, and we have certain images attached to the idea, and then we have a creative day at. Actually, every day is creative day at studio, but. I mean, we have this day that we completely focus on making like the inspiration into a technique, and that comes to life. Sometimes it can take weeks, and then it's like everybody's cutting, pasting, working on the doll, and these are moments for me that are very inspirational. So I think for me it starts like that, but I think for you not. No.
It can, It's like how I explained it earlier. I can be inspired by a lot of things. One time it's a shape, the other time mostly it's emotion. It can be anything, in the smallest details. But yeah, you're more of shape, and but I start to really early in my head start already building a silhouette, because that's really important, you know. When I get inspired by an emotion, I start building a silhouette with it. How is that? Yeah, it sounds really fake, you know, but how is this silhouette capturing the emotion that I want to translate? No, sometimes you have it like,
Right.
you know, you have it, you see it,
Okay.
and sometimes you think you see it, but it's not at all, because you start researching more, and then you see the first thing you thought of is really flat, you know?
Over the past year, with everything slowing down, in terms of not being able to travel and having to stay home, have you both picked up any new skills or pushed yourself in new creative ways?
Yeah, I discovered the iPad. So because I'm not digital at all, you know, not tech, you know. So I'm always like a hand with colors, colorful, with paper, you know. I need to. That's what I did in the academy as well, you know. It's always handmade, cutting, pasting, and now we bought an iPad during the pandemic, and I think it's the best thing that happened, you know, because I was really bad in Photoshop and stuff. I always had to ask Lisi, can you? I have this, cut it. Can you do this in Photoshop for me? You know, and she's really good at it. And then I discovered the iPad. And you can sketch, and you can.
Yeah, there's this program.
Crazy.
It's amazing. Yeah,
it's really crazy, because what I normally have in my mind, it's like, okay, I have this image, I have this sketch, you know, and I cut and paste, and I take this color, and now I have this iPad, I sketch, I can go to the internet, search what I wanted, and copy paste, put it in, draw on top of it, pick this color, you know. I create, it's great,
and the good thing is you can just press send, and or we receive it here, or you know the team at Nina receives it. It's very instant.
It's instant, and it's good to work it out, you know, because I still love the hand thing, you know. I love it, but to brief people, to give a mood, it's really helpful. It's a good tool.
And also, I am curious. Right now, is there anything in particular that is fascinating you? This could be anything from, I don't know, learning yoga or podcasting to a series on Netflix.
I think what's fascinating us now at the moment, for a while now, is coral. No,
yeah,
we're really into it now. It's almost obsessive.
Yeah, it's quite crazy, because our research started, you know, in the Caribbean. You know, coral is for us very attached to Caribbean, and we found out that the Dutch people are actually like very good coral growers.
The best in the world.
They grow it artificially, let's say, you know, in aquariums, but they create these very rare species, and it's being sent all over the world, and that's really like a technique that the Dutch people have, and you know, these kind of things that we find out that make us very
and research it, and you know, discovering things, because you have the aquatic world, you have this world, and you have the aquatic world, and the aquatic world is something undiscovered, you know. It's like space, but then underneath us, you know, it's crazy, but this is what we are discovering every time, new things. And
you should watch, for example, My Octopus Teacher.
Have you watched it?
Never.
On Netflix.
Oh, you should.
Okay.
On Netflix, you should. Really, you should all watch it.
Teacher.
My Octopus, that is crazy.
I've heard about it actually.
Oh, you will cry now, but it's
so intelligent creature. It's really
about
insane.
the octopus, but it's like an alien.
Yeah.
You have to see.
Looking to the future, what do you think the fashion industry should be focusing its energy on once we finally come out of the other side of this pandemic? And in terms of butter, where do you want to take the brand next?
I think the fashion industry should focus on, ideas of young people. No, I think you know, the young ones are pushing it forward.
They should open the gate.
No, the young ones are just pushing it forward. You know, they are the ones like who also feel like they have to deal with it, the situation that we have for the rest of our life. You know, they are more exploring, more searching for solutions instead of like freezing because the system, it's not working anymore. You know, it's like I think they bring the solutions, and that should be something that should be opened up more.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, for us it was what was really important, you know, because we're a fashion brand, but it didn't make sense to us to only make garments and see what's happening in the world right now. You know, it's sometimes we go to work and we look at each other. We say look what's happening, and we are going to make garments, more garments. It's I love fashion, don't get it wrong, but that's why we wanted to create this world that is not only about fashion. You know, it's also about giving back to the world itself, and create awareness around the core nursery. And this is a start. We want to do many more things, you know, but to create more awareness and to also get people in fashion more involved in giving back to the world.
Yeah, I think for us, we just started. You know, we just started.
Yeah.
My dream would be that, for example, the whole collection. You know, that we only offer complete collections that are made from, for example, ocean waste plastic, or even, I don't know. The research can go on for ages. You know, because even algs are right materials to create fibers at the moment. And yeah, we have many plans. So for us, this is just the start.
We have to start somewhere, and this was the most obvious. And this was a concept that we had so long in mind, and now it's starting to shape, and it's there. So this is just the start. Yeah, we have many plans, you know, and I think if everyone just did a little bit, it would be already better, you know. It doesn't, because we are doing also a little bit. I'm not saying that we are changing the world, but just do a little bit, you know, and give a little bit back.
Mm.